Hey everyone, okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys about some new Mission Breakout details we found out today. So there's a gentleman by the name of Imagination. His Twitter, I'm going to put the link to his Twitter down below in the description box. I guess he has a friend or somebody who rode Mission Breakout recently, and he posted or tweeted his thoughts on it. So very interesting stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go over with you guys point by point as to what he said and my opinion on it. First and foremost, we're finally getting an animatronic in that building. Tower of Terror had zilch in terms of animatronics. We're finally getting one. It's going to be a Rocket Raccoon. He described it as very fluid, very advanced, very impressive. So that's cool. I guess it's going to be in the library section, and he's going to come out and basically talk to all of us about our mission and tell us what we have to do to break out. So that's really cool. Look, no matter what you think about Guardians of the Galaxy, no matter what you think about Breakout and this whole overlay, I think it's a really positive thing that we're getting an animatronic. Finally, right? I mean, we didn't have one before in this attraction, so I think that's a really positive step. Number two, he mentioned a couple Easter eggs that will be added into the lobby area, which is now like the museum freak show part of the attraction. Figment from Epcot, okay, and Harold from the Matterhorn will be on display in this room, mixed in with probably a bunch of different Marvel Cinematic Universe Easter eggs and Marvel television, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. They'll probably have props in there. So everything is kind of, on display. Now, I even saw, I forgot where I saw it. I think it was on Twitter. There was a picture of an old mask or an old helmet or something from Captain EO. And I guess that's also going to be in this, museum section. So we're going to have Harold, Figment, that Captain EO helmet thing, and a bunch of other Marvel stuff. So it sounds pretty cool. I really like that. And I love the fact that they're taking a couple pieces of Disney history from the parks, from Epcot and from Matterhorn, and putting it in there. I think that's a nice little touch, a nice connective tissue to kind of tie it all together. So I like that. The Rocket Raccoon animatronic, which I mentioned, that's really cool. Now, another interesting aspect that he mentioned was that it's way more intense than the Tower of Terror. So I don't know what that means. He said there's a lot more motion, so I guess there's a lot more ups and downs and drops. I know that the elevators can kind of shake. It kind of did a little bit of that in Tower of Terror, so maybe there's more shaking involved. Whatever it is, he said it's much more intense to the point where some people were actually getting a little bit sick, a little nauseous. So I don't know, whatever that means, but supposedly this is a much more crazy experience than what we had before. Now, one thing that will definitely add to that intensity is the fact that it's randomized now. Where before with Tower of Terror, it was one sequence and one sequence only. So if you've been on it like 2 or 3 times, you kind of like memorized the sequence. You go up and you drop and you go up and you memorize the whole thing. With this, you probably won't be able to do that unless you go on it like 1,000 times. So they're going to have multiple sequences. It's much harder to predict, which will definitely add to the scary factor. You're not going to know what you're going to do or when it's going to stop. Okay? So that was another aspect. One little cool touch that I noticed with some of the pictures that are coming out today of the attraction was the marquee, the sign. It says Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Above it, it says the Tivon Collection, and it says underneath that, on display for the first time. The cool thing about that sign, though, is that the section where it says on display for the first time, there's letters missing from that. And the letters missing spell out mission below. So I guess Rocket Raccoon, I guess he took off certain letters from that and placed it down here to say mission. And I thought that was really a nice little touch. Very creative. And I thought it was, it's pretty cool. The sign looks fantastic, by the way. I really do like the sign. It's pretty much what you would imagine the sign to look. like, but it looks like it was very well done. So that's pretty much what he talked about. One other interesting aspect, though, was he did say that it was 100, and I'm quoting, 100% screen based. So I guess the part, the sections of the ride where you would go up and there'd be like that mirror and the elevator would shake, and you'd go up a little bit more and you see the hallway and then all the people that passed away. I guess all that is now screen based. So for what it's worth, I don't know. I don't know if those scenes are going to switch out, if they're going to have different imagery on each one of those screens. No clue. He didn't really get into too much detail. He just said that it's a screen-based attraction. So that's very interesting. I don't think they're going to have 3D glasses. I think that'd be really hard based on the kind of ride it is to keep those glasses on your face. I have no idea. So maybe they will, but I'm really doubting it'll be 3D. But that's it, guys. So just to kind of recap, we're getting a Rocket Raccoon audio animatronic. That's pretty impressive. We're getting some Easter eggs like Figment and Harold in the Freak Show museum area. We're getting a way more intense experience in terms of drops and motion. We're getting a pretty cool marquee, pretty cool sign. And overall, it sounds pretty cool. I'm excited, actually. I'm actually really excited for Mission Breakout. I know there's a lot of people out there that hate this attraction already. Look, look, guys, if I go on this ride and it totally sucks, I'm going to make a video that same day and tell you how much I hate this attraction. But you know what? I really don't think that's going to be the case. I really don't. I think it's going to be a really fun ride. You know, we got to wait and see. I think that the biggest obstacle for this attraction is tying it into the rest of the park. I think that's the biggest hurdle. I think that in terms of the experience itself, I think it'll be way more fun, way crazier, way more high energy than anything that the Tower of Terror provided. So I'm not so worried about that. But I am a little worried about how they're going to tie Marvel and this alien thing, monstrosity, in with the rest of the park. That does worry me. So, but I'm willing to have an open mind and wait and see what they come up with. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate all the support. Thank you. Comment below. I love interacting with you guys. You guys are awesome. And let me know what you guys think. Do you like, love, do you hate these additions? What are your opinions on it? And check out Imagination's Twitter. See for yourself what he said on there and kind of get some details for yourself. Read it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a marvelous, marvelous day. Bye-bye.